Hey guys, Crystal Thompson here with a Unity project. I want to show you how we're going to make this really cool card. We are utilizing some awesome products and it's going to make it super easy to mass produce some very not kid-like cards for birthdays, perfect for girlfriends. So stay tuned for the full tutorial on how to get this done. Alright, so to get started, let me show you what we're going to be using. We're using 2 inks and we're going to be doing some ink blending. We're going to use Distress Oxide and Mill Lavender along with Victorian Velvet. These are just very subtle colors. I hope that you love what this ends up looking like and you can change out your colors. For our sentiments, we are using Girl Truly. We're using Congrats on Your Special Day is going to be a super fun card. So we're using that birthday sentiment from Girl Truly with the Kid of the Month, and this is the one with the birthdays, and I think you're going to love it. And we have our cardstock ready to go. We're going to be doing the windows, and the windows are going to happen out of the little window die. This is a die from Studio Cadia, and you can use any die that you like as long as it has windows. There's so many variations. This one has a 3x4 card configuration. You can do a 3x3. It doesn't matter, but I felt that these little birthday cakes would match the best and would fit really nicely on top of these. So again, I have my cardstock ready to go, and I'm going to be inking it up with some black Copic friendly ink because we're going to do very light Copic coloring, trying to do some colors that match those 2 Distress Oxides. And then we have the sentiment. The sentiment's going to be stamped on this white piece of cardstock with the block, and it's all going to go very fun and very easy. So we're going to begin by setting everything off to the side, and we are going to grab our ink and we're going to ink up the beautiful birthday treats that we got going on over here. And you have a variation of cakes and cupcakes and all sorts of stuff, and it's just a really pretty stamp set, and it's going to go really well with this girly happy birthday card. So I feel like we're always sending birthday cards to our girlfriends and just kind of, hey, we're thinking of you, cheer up type of deal. And so this is one of those. It's very soft. It's not overly childlike in regards to color selections. So we have that ready to go. I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to bring in our Copics and do very, very rough coloring. So I'm going to select this one just because it's very, very quite pretty. And again, just making it super, super simple. I think I'm going to select this guy. And I like using the same color when I'm using, let's say, 3 stamps, for example. And the reason why is that it just limits and really makes it easy to color the whole thing. And then you don't have a ton of colors, and then you know that the 3 things that you select are all going to match very nicely. And I'm going to select, I think I'm going to select this polka dot one. Okay. Then we're going to move on to this purple. This is V20. And again, just very rough coloring. We're not going to spend a ton of time on making this super, super specific, just because this is a great way to mass produce some cards. I'm going to move on and grab yellow for our candles. The candle flame, I should say. All right. I'm going to grab some light brown, skin color light brown. This in case is E21 Baby Skin Pink for my other ones. Okay, we're going to do that, and then we're going to come back with this pink being RV11. So you get the gist of it. We're coloring this, and then we're going to bring in our scissors, and we're going to fussy cut those 3 little images that we had just colored. And again, as you can see, I'm not spending a ton of time on that coloring, just keeping it super simple. And then we are going to move on to the rest and the other part of the card as we fussy cut or hand cut around the images that we had just colored. All right, so I fussy cut these and they're just super, super cute. We got 3 little cakes, and then I've added a little bit of piece of foam in the back so we can place it. So I'm gonna set these aside. Wanted to show you what those guys ended up looking like. Now we're gonna do our ink blending. So I have my little window die that I had cut out of this die, and so I have my piece of paper ready to go, and this is going to protect my surface. I am not going to color this, but I want to put it down so I know where I'm going to do my lines and try to stay within. So you can use some masking tape if you like. I'm going to freehand this just because it makes it a lot quicker. I'm going to ink up my ink blender with that Victorian Velvet, and we're just going to do one quick little line and then just blend at the bottom. And we're just going to soften that up, not necessarily blending the entire square, right? So then when we put it, it just has that beautiful little ink blending. Okay, and then we're going to bring in our milled lavender. I'm going to use a purple, and I like to use my ink blenders in color families. That way I don't have one for each specific color or each specific line or brand of ink pads. So just gonna do these, and it's a really fun combination. We're just gonna continue blend those 2 shades of pink and purple, and they have a really nice muted color. So when you place your window, it's gonna look really cool. So now we're just gonna alternate those colors. So we're gonna go purple here. Okay, blend. And I'm going to leave a little bit of white space there. But again, this is a super quick way to use your ink blenders, and then again to kind of color coordinate your colorings and your ink blending when utilizing dyes such as window dyes. Okay, that Victorian Velvet is quite rich, so I'm going to have to work a little more at my ink blending here. And that is just fine. We're going to do the next one. Okay, and so when we place this, it's going to be very pretty, right? So we're going to set these aside, not get ourselves totally inky. And we're not going to use foam for this part of it. We're just going to flip this around. We're going to use our roller. And when you're using a roller on a die or a cut that is really itty bitty and your surface is going to end up getting some of that, just do it over a scratch piece of paper, and that way it ends up on the paper. You can toss that and not on your surface. So I've already had pre-cut my bottom ink blended cardstock to be the same size as my top mat. Okay, and that way it makes it super easy to line up because you have your corners ready to go. All right, next we are going to add those beautiful little cakes that we had just cut earlier, right? Makes it super cute. So just pick a window on where you're going to place them. And I'm leaving kind of this area, that 3/4 part up, for my sentiment. All right, so we got that down. Super cute. It's not very kid-like card. We're gonna grab our black ink again. You can do this part when you did the first stamping of those cakes. And we're gonna just hold it. It's totally crooked, so we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna try again. And I'm gonna get my head in here. And that's the beauty of stamping on a strip. And if you can't stamp on a strip, use your MISTI and be sure that it's going to work out. Once that's done, we're going to set this aside. We're going to add a little bit of foam to the back of this. And I'm actually going to go ahead and trim the edges so I can fit it right in the center and it's not overtaking my card. All right, so I trimmed that up and I've added the piece of foam in the back, so I'm just going to pop it right in the center. And I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so we're in between those two where that white area was. And then we're going to line up those edges. And then you have your panel for your birthday card. At this point, you can add a little bit of Nuvo drops, just a little bit of shimmer, whatever it is that you decide to do. I'm going to grab this cute little, what is it? This is Sherbet Shimmer, and I'm just going to add it to the edges. And that way we don't have to add too many embellishments. But because we use that pink, we can just use it on all of them, just to give a little bit of shimmer. And guys, that does it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to click the subscribe button if you haven't yet, or the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.